We're here at the East Aldine District Office today, August 6th at approximately 11:30 a.m. At which point the Pine Village North HOA, acting HOA, is having a secret meeting, which is in violation of Judge Schaefer's court order and a violation of Texas Business Organization Code and the Pine Village HOA bylaws.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, walk.
When we was with Judge Schaefer in June of 2013, it says, "So it is my understanding that the defendants here in the community at large that are attended here, you want to go forward with the hearing and you want me to decide yes or no. Who controls the board?" He said in his order, there can be no secret meetings, there can be no telephone meetings. For instance, where 4 members are on the line and 3 members are not. It's supposed to be 7 members to make a decision for anything. That's why this case is going on, and there has not been.
Are the doors unlocked? Go. We're going to the meeting.
Sir, sorry, you can't do that.
Good afternoon. Is this a board meeting? Is this a secret meeting?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. This is against Judge Schaefer's court order. This is against Texas Business Organization Act. This is against Pine Village bylaws. The members were not noticed of this meeting.
This is an executive session.
You cannot have an executive session.
Special meeting of...
You cannot go to Texas Business Organization Act. You cannot have a special meeting or a regular meeting without noticing all the members.
Okay, can you
And this is it.
Can you exit the room? We're having a meeting.
So you're putting us out. We can't attend the meeting?
This is an executive meeting.
Okay.
You're not invited here.
Get everything in order so that we will be in court.
All right.
We'll be in court.
You have your day in court.
Yes, we will.
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
Augustine Rodriguez.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead. Chris, go ahead. Describe what just happened.
Mr. Augustine Rodriguez.
No, stay here. Dory.
Mr. Augustine.
Y'all should step out of the premises.
You're board members.
This is paid with tax dollars. This is paid with tax dollars. They collect tax.
Wait. Are you guys homeowners? Are you board director? Are you homeowners? I think you have a right to be here. Let them call the police.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right. I do have the right. You want to call cops? Go ahead. We have that type. Ain't this a public paying for tax dollars? Don't they collect tax dollars?
Let me introduce myself.
Do they pay tax dollars? They pay tax dollars?
We're not in opposition to you. Will you please take the camera? Just turn that camera off. I'm the deputy executive director.
No. I want you to tell me.
All right, let him talk. Let him talk.
I'm the deputy executive director of East Aldine Management District.
Okay.
We don't want any more disruptions. We're there in the meeting for a completely different purpose. Okay? We have nothing to do with your issues. We cannot have a disruption here in this office. I will not have it. You guys are being warned now to leave the property today. Okay? Not that you're not welcome. Not that you're not welcome to come back in the future. But let us finish our meeting that we were invited to. So we can conduct our business.
Okay, kids, let it be.
Okay, this is, it's not something I'm really even.
Okay, but this is the order from the judge.
Okay, we're not a party.
We understand it, but they're not supposed to have any meetings. It's stated there can be no secret meetings.
If you guys have an attorney, that's the person you need to go to.
Right. But
we can't have the operations in this office disrupted for any reason. Okay?
Maybe, Mr. Mitchell, but that wasn't discussed. I don't know if we did something like that, like what you suggest. That's what would be an overall resolution.
Yeah, I said retain the 4 board members that were already there, even though we weren't in agreement with it. For the sake of mediation, let's retain the 4 board members, board directors that are there, and elect 3 new ones to complete a 7-member board.
And that's what
7
the judge
directors.
ordered.
And it was an agreed upon order that we would have an election and elect 3 new board directors to fill 3 vacant positions.
That's correct.
And Judge Schaefer also stated in this court order that any decision that was to be made with all 7 board directors present and all 7 board directors signing, whether they agreed or disagreed to whatever the issue was. And to date, we have never had 7 board directors, and all types of catastrophes have happened. It's been total chaos.
The agreement is there will be a special meeting announcing a vote to elect 3 new members of the board of directors during the interim period of this for a temporary period until the trial of this case.
A temporary.
The foreclosures that have been filed will stay, and try to mediate or work them out during this time period. And if any additional expedient foreclosures would ever be voted, they would have to go before the board before they can file and move on during the interim period. So, this is what was agreed with the attorneys.
All right.
Our concern is it is not 7 board members. It is not 7 board members.
It looked like it was 7 people in that room.
Those people was in there were not all board members. They were part of this Aldine district. One of the gentlemen, 2 of them was the Aldine district, but they were not board members. The board members that they had in that meeting was Mr. Rodriguez, Mrs. Gonzalez, Miss Susan Brown, and a young man that named Sean Gibson that is not even on the register of the state, period. The register of the state only has 3 of them on there, and the other party was on the register of the state, Mr. Henry Parker, and Mr. Henry Parker has been incarcerated now, and he's serving time for 10 years. So he's not on there anymore. And Mr. Jim Nichols and Mr. Charles Lucenay and Miss Deb Jacobs are all gone. Thank you.
They had Sheila James attended the legal special meeting that took place today, at which point she purportedly was elected at a special meeting in May of this year, but it was an illegal meeting because none of the members, no one had notice of the meeting. But David Orr from the management company stated that they don't have to give notice of a special meeting. Notice does not have to be given to the members, which is in violation of Texas Business Code and the Texas, the judge's order, and Texas Business Organization Code and our bylaws. Grandson.
Now at that special meeting where the 3 were elected, they were supposed to be elected.
Who? Augustine, Susan Brown, Pat McKinney's grandson, and Sean Gibson.
They were only supposed to elect 3.
They elected 4.
That's another thing. At the special meeting they were conducted, they were supposed to elect 3 people for temporary positions. They had an annual meeting since then, and both of these annual meetings, they're in violation of the Texas Property Code, the section that pertains to maintaining the members list throughout the meeting and available to the members during the meeting, which were they never at none of these meetings. And so that makes the meeting null and void. And the lawyers are letting them continue to operate even though they know it's on video camera where they didn't have the members list maintained at the meeting, and they were elected to temporary position. In the meantime, they were supposed to have an annual meeting to have permanent board members, which did not happen. This is another problem we have in this clubhouse. You see they cut down these trees and left all this debris. Half-ass contractors, and we got big old dogs and stuff running around the neighborhood. That dog weighs nearly 100 pounds. That could eat a small child alive. We're supposed to have a pool that's supposed to be available for the kids during the summer to swim in. As you can see, there's no water in it. That's been 10 years going. We have a clubhouse here that we got that's no taxes being paid on without no tax exemption from nobody. What we got here, we can't use this clubhouse. I ain't been able to use this clubhouse for 20-something years. It's got a sauna, it's got a weight room. It's supposed to have a weight room. The weight equipment's missing out of it. The AC units they bought are gone. They're not on the unit. They're supposed to buy 2 units from TransStar. I don't see them on the clubhouse. Where'd they go?
The last official notice of a meeting states that the regular board meeting scheduled for Tuesday, May 13, 2014 at 7 p.m. has been canceled. The next scheduled board meeting will tentatively be held on Tuesday, June 10, 2014 at 7 p.m. East Aldine District, which the meeting never took place.
This is a P.O. box. It's got a name of a man, somebody, PMG, whatever. I don't know who them are. This is the P.O. box. This is not a physical address to serve anybody at. And you cannot serve nobody at a P.O. box. So if you're doing wrong, it's your company. You get your P.O. box. You can't tie it to nobody because it don't belong to nobody. It's not a physical address. How can you conduct business at a P.O. box? Because you're doing something wrong. That's why you don't have a physical address. Give me your physical address. This company has a physical address for the employees. How come the checks are not being sent there? This office contains the public records for the HOA. It's supposed to be open during regular business hours for anybody to come in and go in there and view the records of this so-called HOA. It's not there. Can you go in this door and view them during business hours? They have no business hours. See the door? Locked. Here's where we post the public meeting for the PUD district in accordance with the Federal Open Meetings Act. And if you're going to use my taxpayer dollars, I think I ought to be allowed to attend the meeting in the East Aldine District meeting room because it's paid for the sales tax dollars that's collected out of this community and surrounding community here. I used to live in this community. I still live in the other community. My sales tax dollars go to pay for that office that I got to ask to leave from the East Aldine Management District by this here fella. And I'm an elected public official. This is a house I bought at the tax sale. It's supposed to have been repaired by the HOA. They say they're supposed to do the exterior of the building, only the exterior surface. But if you go read IRS rules, it says exterior walls. And if you'll see that there's several pieces of Cornish missing up there, where the squirrel's been crawling in and out of the house up there in that corner. Cornish has been missing. The paint's peeling. The siding is this is old paper siding here. That's what's outlawed. T100, T whatever. LP. This was on recall. This paper siding is defected. You see that roof is uneven, and that hardy board. You see the nail holes. You see the nails. They're not even properly placed. You'll see gaps. Poor workmanship with the stuff that's broke. You see the nails countersunk. See how the nails out? See how they're countersunk? Well, you're not supposed to countersink the nail because it breaks the material. When it breaks the material, then it sits there and shakes loose after it's gone. And it has no structural board behind it. Hardy board's not a structural repair. This is not structurally sound, this wall. All it has up here is hardy board. Hardy board's not a structural repair. These houses are in danger when a windstorm comes. The assessments got wiped off of this house because I did not assume them in writing. So they didn't go after the previous owner for the tax. The previous assessments, they can't come after me. I didn't assume them in writing. Go read our documents. Unless I assume the previous assessments in writing, you can't. I don't assume them. You can sell this house without collecting the dime of the assessments. You got to go to the previous owner. Wasn't me.
Today's date is August 9th, 2014. The time is approximately 6:35 p.m. We are at the East Aldine District Office at 5353 Aldine Mail Route Road, Houston, Texas 77039. The form that we're showing you now is a copy of the notice for the HOA meeting for Pine Village North Community, which does not have an agenda attached. According to Texas law, as well as the Pine Village bylaws were to have a copy of the agenda prior to the meeting so that we know exactly what is to be discussed at the meeting, and if you have any questions, we could preempt those questions at that point. This is a picture of Mr. Martinez's unit, which the Board of Directors of Pine Village have taken the liberty of attempting to foreclose on Mr. Martinez's home, stating that they have a right to foreclose on his home for lack of him paying his HOA dues, stating that the HOA dues are to maintain the exterior of the home. Look at this, look at the whole building. This is ridiculous. See the new wood that's on this building? Mr. Martinez actually installed this wood that you see that is there. Other than that, there were missing walls, missing roof, everything, all the exterior components of this building that you see are new. Mr. Martinez, the actual owner, actually spent his own funds, not HOA funds, to replace and repair his unit. But you see what's left. As you can see here, this is a list of the foreclosures, 6 foreclosures that they filed here in Pine Village. At which point, for all these foreclosures, they've stated that the the owners have not paid HOA dues. Everyone hasn't paid since 2011. Mr. Wayman Prince is the attorney that is handling the foreclosures, and he states in this notice, if you'll take a look, he states that he's an agent and attorney for Leawood condominium homes. We do not reside in Leawood condominium homes. We reside in Pine Village North. If you take a look at this notice that I am now holding, Texas state law as well as our bylaws state that we are to have notice of any regular or special meeting. We've sent several notices certified, the last one being on August 6th, to our Board of Directors, stating, here's a copy of the notice, stating that they have missed 3 consecutive meetings. In all of the meetings prior to that, they did not give the members notice. The bylaws also state that any director that misses 3 consecutive meetings is automatically removed from the board. They have missed 3 consecutive meetings. We have given them notice per this certified letter.
We don't have a quorum. We have 4 members present. Which 4? Sheila, myself, Mr. Gibson, and Supervisor. We don't know this lady. Who is she?
For real. Where she come from?
Man, what else meeting was she elected at that we want to know about?
For real.
Was she appointed?
Was she appointed at an open meeting?
She was appointed.
When? At an open meeting? When? Date and time. Open meeting, when? Date and time.
Okay, we'll move on the agenda. Okay?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
We
You
need to
answer
know
the
this,
question.
right. Where does she
We
come
asked you a
from?
legitimate question. Answer it.
Excuse me, sir. They don't have that right now to give you that information.
They should have.
They should
Have
have.
it.
Do you stay in Pine Village?
I do.
She's a police officer. And she wanted to answer the question.
Yeah, because they not right.
She's HPD.
Excuse me, we don't have an answer.
You don't have an answer for you. She's HPD.
We don't know who this lady is. She appears. You don't have any information to give us when she was
Put on the board,
appointed.
when?
She wasn't elected. She was appointed, and the president's not here. Where's the president and where's Diane?
Couldn't make it tonight.
No. We do not have a quorum.
Then I guess we don't have a meeting tonight.
I guess we won't.
Yes, we won't.
I guess we won't then.
Let me see if we can come up with it. I want
We cannot have anything come up. That should have been done, presented to us before the meeting. I can get up and say, I'm the new member of the board. I was
If she
appointed
don't have
last
no
week
right to
by
speak,
Joe
then
Blow
y'all
here.
vote
No. It don't work like that. That's what we're right now, because nobody is elected. They're all appointees. We have a serious problem.
Yeah. We have a serious problem. You weren't elected at an open meeting.
Yeah.
Can I talk about some subpoenas real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
up there that, oh, no.
Chris, explain what's happening. Just tell everybody what's happening.
Right now, our legal board of directors have been served subpoenas to come to court to deal with the issues of the board operating, filing legal foreclosure, so on and so forth.
Where do we stand on this meeting? Are we going to have a meeting? We have a quorum, yes or no?
They've been served.
There is no quorum. You do not have a quorum. You do not have a quorum. There's 1, 2, 3.
Brother, you ain't gotta raise your hand and talk. She was gonna talk and know we will
There is no quorum.
Hey, one at a time, we're going to orderly meeting, one at a time.
I've been on this board for over 12 years. I've never seen so much disruption and corruption going on. It's very unorganized how y'all conducting this meeting. The president has to conduct it, open the meeting. The president's not here, the vice president is here. But you must have a quorum. You have to have 5 to open it. You can't.
There's only 7 member positions. There's 4 presidents. That's a quorum.
You don't have, there's 3 presidents.
How many?
5.
4. 4 is required.
Go back and look at the
Of
rules.
7 positions.
Have you looked at the bylaws?
It's a 4 member. That's what it is. It's not a quorum. We have a quorum here. We're going to proceed on the meeting. If whoever doesn't want to participate, you can leave now.
No, we're not going to go there. You can
You can leave. You don't even stay around.
Orderly meeting, one at a time, one at a time.
I'm up to you.
If you want to disrupt this, you're going to be asked to leave.
No, you're not.
You don't run nothing.
You're not even living in our community. You're not even living in our community. How come you get arrested? You get disruptive, you'll be asked to move.
I don't think so.
You will be
Chris
asked
has
to
his hand up. Go ahead, Chris.
move.
I don't think so.
Mr. Hughes, Chris.
Mr. Augustine, Mr. Orr, did you receive this notice that was sent?
Mr. Mitchell, you're not a property owner. You're not allowed to say
Yes, I
that.
am.
You don't even stay on here.
You're not registered as a property
I
owner.
just raised my hand, and I finished.
You are not a property owner.
You missed 3
He's my husband, he's a property
You missed
owner.
3 consecutive meetings.
David,
According to our bylaws, all
he's
board
not a property
directors
owner.
missed 3
He's
consecutive
not a property
meetings.
owner.
Automatically
Brown's not a property owner.
You're
Who's being elected as a president?
I'm not leaving.
You will be asked to leave.
You can't make him leave.
no, you can't, nobody.
Chris, go ahead and finish
I
talking.
would want nobody leave.
That's right, you
This
have.
notice was certified, didn't you? Okay, what does it state? Are you familiar with the Pine Village bylaws? The Pine Village bylaws clearly state any board director that misses 3 consecutive meetings is automatically removed from the board. All of you were removed because you missed 3 consecutive meetings.
That's right.
It's a violation of Texas Open Meetings Act.
So that's.
We all supposed to remove him. Raise your hand. Come on. Raise your hand. We're going to remove him, y'all. Raise your hand.
Hold it there.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. You're a member of the association. You have the right to remove him.
Go ahead, Chris.
Your prime right was you surrounded to tell me, Ms. Augustine, that you just gonna violate the laws of the state of Texas, let alone the Pine Village bylaws, but you want to sit on our board?
That's right, that's what you're doing, right?
No, you're not going by the bylaws. What do the bylaws state? Mr. Orr, since you manage this property through the management company, which no one voted for you to come in, no one was even aware that you were coming in except for your cohorts on the board. Not all of you, excuse me, Ms. James, not all of you, maybe not you, Sean.
She don't need to be on the phone. She needs to be here. Is that important?
Okay, so you think we're gonna sit here and just take what you have to say?
This is the law. This is the law. You don't have a choice. It's civil laws. This is the law. You just want to do whatever you want to do in violation of the law.
We have a forum.
You don't have a quorum. You do not have a quorum, let alone Judge Schaefer on June 14th of 2013, the last time we were in court. Judge Schaefer said that 7 board directors must be seated at every board meeting.
Judge Schaefer is no longer proceeding over this case.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That's what we have on court order. It's the end of trial. It's in the notice. We
are not.
But we're not abiding by his order.
So there is no order.
Yes, there is. There is an order. So you can do whatever you like to do. Is what you're saying. What about the secret meetings that you had without notice? What does the text say? Actions without a meeting by members and directors. You can't do it. No, yeah, you can call a special meeting, but you must give the members, the people who want to come in. You're filing, excuse me, Mr. Prince, question. How were you able to file those 6 foreclosures that you filed last week with a non-operating?
We can't have 10 people talking at one
Yeah, but
time.
nobody's listening. There is no quorum.
Okay, from the East Aldine district, this is private property.
Well, that's fine.
We're gonna ask you to leave.
I can't stay for it.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna have an orderly meeting or we're gonna ask you to leave. That's gonna be it. We're not gonna keep on interrupting the meeting, saying the same thing over and over again. We have a representative from the East Aldine district.
Again, you need to stand down, sir.
Mr. Hughes, this is not Pine Village property, as I said before. This is East Aldine property. We're gonna have an orderly meeting. I understand that. This is private property. So we'll ask you to leave. At that point, if you don't leave, you'll be arrested for trespass. We're gonna have an orderly meeting. Chris, go ahead.
If you are asking me a question, I can address it. First, I want to address the question. There is a quorum, and we do have a quorum here. Secondly, as far as your notice is concerned, Chris, you are party to a lawsuit. If you have legal question, address it in a legal forum as a defendant. Third, I'm asking you a question. Third, as far as you asking me about expedited foreclosures, any homeowner, which you are not, if I can finish, which you are not a homeowner, you are not on any deed, you are not recognized by any filed legal document as a homeowner, but you're still a litigant. I'm just talking about deed owner. You are not a deed owner, period. So as far as that's concerned, I'm going to answer his question. His question is, how can I, as the collection attorney, file an expedited foreclosure on you and you, Tony Hughes, and any other person in here who has not paid their HOA assessments? I can do it under the law because you haven't paid your HOA assessments. That is point blank clear. If you want to defend it, you defend it. If you want to pay your dues as a homeowner. Thank you. I've answered your question.
Okay, then I have a rebuttal.
We'll go on to the next.
I've answered your question.
A rebuttal. I do have a right. As I am a party to an action, I'm a pro se litigant, so I can defend myself. That's why I have the authority to send this.
Is it filed in court? Is that filed in court?
It will be filed
Answer the question. Is that filed in court? The answer is no. It's not filed in court.
Order that you're in violation of. Judge Schaefer said all 7.
Judge Schaefer is no longer the presiding judge in this particular case.
It's on the order until the end of trial.
He is not the presiding judge in this case, Chris. As a pro se litigant, get an attorney and then answer the question whether or not Judge Schaefer is the presiding judge in this case. He's not.
So the order that
Read the order back to me. If you got it, read it back to me. Do you have it? Read it.
I have it.
Read it.
All 7.
No, I want you to read the order to me.
Prince, cool it.
No, Tony. He's talking, Tony. You, Tony, have not paid your HOA assessments. You are going to be expedited foreclosure.
Of 12. You know why? Because they're wasting all our money.
Well, I'll tell you what. You'll see your day in court then.
You get your money, but you don't know why we're not paying it.
You'll see your day in court.
How will you damn well know that?
Next question right here.
Not you. You address me by my name, ma'am. I'm not a you. I have a name. Address me by my name when I respond to your question. What I said is what I said, ma'am. Basically, if you don't pay your HOA assessment, you can't do it. Ask me a question then.
I asked you, if Judge Shaver wrote the order, and it was legal at that time, is he not there any longer?
He's there, he's just not the presiding judge in this case any longer.
So it disappeared, so it just disappeared or whatever?
Now, you a defendant, no, you're not. The case is still there, he's just not the presiding judge. That's all I said, ma'am.
All of the paperwork stays. All of the paperwork stays.
I never argued the paperwork, ma'am. I just argued the question that if he has an order to read it, read me a copy of that order, and he can't read it.
Aren't you an attorney?
Ma'am, I've answered that question many times over.
Aren't you supposed to know what's going on?
Ma'am, I do know what's going on. I've answered his question, I've answered your question.
We're going to the next question.
We're going to the next question, ma'am. Go ahead. It's their HOA assessments, ma'am.
What about the people that pay and get nothing done? That is raining in the house.
Ma'am, we have what's called a priority list of those people who have put in writing what their request is. If you have a request for a home repair, we have a sequence of events that must occur. First, it must be a claim, and that claim must be in writing from you and follow the proper sequence. Claim, in writing, inspection, review, assessment, appraisal, and repair. That is the process that we use.
I'm not finished. I've been a lawyer 20+ years, longer than you've been an attorney.
No, you haven't, ma'am. I've been an attorney for 40.
Over here.
You've been an attorney too long.
Ma'am, do you have your request with you?
No, I don't have one of them bring me. I'm going to turn it around in my church.
Well, ma'am, if you have a written request, would you please provide it?
No.
I think I've answered your question.
No, you didn't.
Go ahead, sir.
We can't have, keep having this disruption.
Okay,
Who
do we give that? I don't want to lead, actually.
Exactly and precisely, you give it to the property manager, put in charge of this, and Mr. Orr is acting as the property manager, executive vice president of property management. Right here, he's to my right.
Okay, when are you on this property?
No. He's not on site. No, he's not on site. You contact us.
I need a chimney cap. Because everything he is saying that I got to put it in writing.
Correct.
I'm gonna put it in writing. Now, how do I get that to you? You gotta have your phone number before you leave. I'll give you a business card. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead, ma'am. Thank you, and thank you very much.
What's the address? 5711A East Campus. And I don't know because that's what he's been for like 5 months.
I'll ask Jose tomorrow. And I can make sure I have your number. I probably have it on my desk, but I just make sure. So I don't think your number was in the system when I looked at it. So if I can get your phone number. But I sent it over to Jose.
Anybody else have any questions?
You know who I am. I want to say this. You directed the board, you came in, you started one meeting, a couple of meetings, private meetings, everything else. To me personally, it's just like you came in and you just took over the association with no regard to the homeowners. that you were not voted in anywhere. Nothing other would have put it. I'm just looking at the situation. There is no such thing as a homeowner association. Because everything more or less was done to this point without the homeowners. There was nobody notified of anything. And there's a lot of problems that I see because when you're involved in real estate, you want to sell or lease. That's what you're about. You're not about where we live here in Pine Village, and we got a lot of problems. Chimney cap been cited, and so on. I'm going to cite one other thing. For over 16 years, it's been our added drain needs to be cleared out. For 16 years, nobody touched it. Now it is completely stopped. And I want to request that that drain be cleared out.
You might want to bring a complaint to that board member that's leaving with the public utility district. Then we have another board member here from the public utility district. But, yeah, any other members, this is subject for that. You might want to bring a complaint.
No, I'm not going to bring it.
The public utility district has the authority to clean those lines out. And I've already made a request that they do so. So as soon as
what question is that
Mr. Suggs is on the board of directors for the public utility district.
Is he in here now?
Walked out the door.
What's his name?
Kenneth Suggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
But there's also Ms. Rosado was on the board. And the other lady was, I'm sorry. Two board members here from the public utility district. That's we need to make contact. John Montgomery, municipal operation for the public utility district. They have the authority to clean out those drains. Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Mr. Nahem, in the first place, let me ask you who you are in the association.
I'm the vice president.
And who voted for you to be sitting in that chair?
We had a special meeting, and there was a position open, and I took that position.
When?
Mr.
Because I'm an owner.
Henry Parker.
I'm an owner of the place, and I never saw any letter on my
Henry
name.
Parker was elected as vice president in August 2013. The rest indicted and sentenced in Mississippi. I left the position open. I was voted by the remainder of the board to assume that position and finish up this term.
When you say remainder of borders means that you don't really care about the residents, because residents not even vote for you. We don't even know who you are.
I was elected in August of 2013.
I didn't know that.
At the Johnson Elementary School.
Yeah,
You were not there.
We have
He was there when I got elected.
Yeah, I was there.
When I got elected. Kenny Suggs was there. Some of these people were here when I got elected. Susan Brown and I were both.
So how many votes?
How long were you
I was
elected?
elected for 3 years.
So how many votes do you have on favor? How many votes do you have on favor? How many votes
do you have on favor?
I wasn't.
Because we have 500 units in our community. So
I don't have. I wasn't. But listen. You might want to speak to him. He has the authority to clean those drains up.
One other question. Are we going to have a meeting, an annual meeting next month?
We're going to try to have one.
We will try to have one.
Absolutely. We have a position.
We don't want to.
We have one position to fill. We would like to take that.
No, I don't like to do nothing. That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna do nothing. But I hope we have a meeting next month, an annual meeting.
We are going to try. First of the month, we're
But
trying
ain't
to.
ain't no try.
Any other question? We got some guests that like
My name is Paula.
Can you step up a little bit? Barely hear nothing.
My name is Paula Hudson. I'm at 12-311 Wild Time. I've been having an order ready for 2010. Every time it's a new board, I present a new order. We give my repair to my home.
What's the order for?
The repair is for the outside of my home. The rest is the side. The outside and the under, where it's not only raining from the outside, it's also raining from the bottom.
Mr. Hudson, when we got on board last year, we made it a priority to address the roofs because they're leaking out of people's homes.
Okay, I understand. But see, like I said, each time you get a new board, you change things.
Well, that's what the private people are trying, and what was coming in the homes, we're trying to.
And that's gonna tell you, man.
Last month, we had 37 homes left leaking roofs. We're working on it. You spent over $100,000 in the last 90 days on roof siding, drainage repairs, and other repairs. We're trying to do as much as we can. But listen, Mrs. Hudson, we got a bunch of deadbeats that live in your community. And some of them are in this room, they're all paying to make those people. We don't have the funds, and we're having to scrape from your funds that everyone else will pay to get behind. So I would suggest you give some people who after these deadbeats.
No, I'm gonna tell you, I'm with my until you all got the end. Then I stopped paying my thing. I've seen everybody else repair. People buy the townhouse, they prepare done right then and there. I'm sitting there.
That is not true because.
Yes, that was true. Yes, that was true. And then I will pay mine up to date every penny of it if you fix my house. So if you want these dead people to pay, then pay the 12 to 11C. 12 to 11C. 12 to 11C walk time. I will pay every penny up to date once you fix my employee. Every penny. Every penny, but just fix it. And because you keep making excuses for not fixing it, fix it.
You also have project repair your own roofs and submit the invoice to the board that have paid. We have been paying some invoices for roof repairs and also siding repairs.
Ms. Hudson, do you have the phone number also?
Yes, I have a phone number 832-538-9480. And also, are you saying that? When I was paying my maintenance fee, that's because my maintenance fee. I don't have money to pay extra to pay for labor and stuff like that. You pay for the security. When I pay maintenance fee, that's supposed to be for everything. It's not supposed to be what I pay for this here, and then you pay for that.
You don't pay your maintenance fee. These other people are paying for your garbage service.
And the reason why it's not is because do what you're supposed to do. You would have no deadbeats if everybody, if you fix everybody's house, you would have no problem. Once you fix mine, you get everything. Fix everything. It's a simple thing. Fix my townhouse.
Mrs. Hudson, there's $2 million worth of repairs in Pine Village North. We can't write a check for $2 million. We just paid $100,000 in the last 90 days. It's like a problem. But we won't get to your unit.
I'm going to say, real sick, because I've been hearing that for
Anybody else?
years.
Anybody else that has a question? Can you step up here, man?
I pay my maintenance all the time. I don't believe it, not that. But I've never got, anything I never asked for is never happened. But there are people who not pay maintenance, they have to get stuff fixed. Why is that?
When it comes to the priority list for roofs and whatever else,
That
it doesn't matter.
fair. That don't seem fair.
I know it doesn't, but we can't discriminate against the deadbeats that don't pay and what to pay. We can't do that. Whoever submits requests, you got to merge with
Have you ever called over to our office?
Always goes off and they have them written, they say they have them.
They're all been closed for several months. So you haven't made a request, David Orr,
They said eventually they would get to it, so I'm just using that in a way. But I was just wondering why I get people that don't pay and stuff down. And people that do pay don't be paying.
Okay, now we have some guests here that we like to present so they can.
This is
Yeah, I have a question. You said you had $2 million. I don't see that anybody else had 2 million.
No.
So my question is, you said you got $2 million in repairs? You have $2 million in the bank to do the repairs?
No.
Mr. Prince, can you be seated at the board in a private meeting?
Yes, I can.
I mean, no. Can a board member be seated at the board in a non-open meeting or a secret meeting? Can you elect somebody at the board?
That's correct.
That's correct?
That is correct.
All right. In other words, the judge didn't tell y'all no secret meeting?
We have not had, since I have been an attorney for this association, there has not been one secret meeting.
Then would you please explain to me how she got elected in the board? Because none of us were president.
Who is she? Who is the she?
Sheila Jane got elected to the board without none of us at an open meeting president. Anybody here at the meeting where she got elected? No. Will you please explain that to me? Okay, now,
ask me a question. Can I respond?
Yeah,
on the board, you're reading in part, in script, from parts of either the bylaws or the declaration. So let me explain to something to you, Mr. Suggs. As a former board member, if you're going to point out something either in the bylaws or the declaration, you cannot do it in part. You got to do it in the entirety. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So if it comes down to a vacancy on the board, this board has the right to appoint a member of the board for that position to fill that vacancy at a special meeting. When Ms. I said special. I said special. I didn't say open. I'm trying to be clear. Mr. Suggs, can I finish talking? I'm trying to finish. If you let me finish, then you can go and read and get educated on what those bylaws say. As far as Ms. James is concerned, she was duly appointed at a special meeting by the other board members to serve a term to fulfill a vacancy for 3 years. Now, if you want to either question that or otherwise have an issue with that, then put it in writing and address it to me and I'll respond to you. But until that time, do not sit up here and try to excerpt from either the bylaws or the declaration as a former board member and try to disrupt the meeting, because you're not going to.
I'm reading from the
I've answered your question. You're reading only in part, Mr. Suggs.
No, I'm reading the court order here now. That's what I'm reading.
You're reading in part. You're reading in part.
Thank you, Your Honor. What we have to agree to. In other words, expedited foreclosure will not take place unless the board constitutes that has 7 members to vote on whether or not to proceed on expedited foreclosure.
And what does the law? And the law says on expedited foreclosures, and you only read it in part, that there are certain statutory procedures that you have to follow. Those statutory procedures, Mr. Suggs, as a former board member, have been followed. If you want to challenge them, file a response in court.
That's a court order. That's a court order.
I'm not talking about the court. I'm saying what the law says. That court order is being read. You're reading in part from something. You're not reading that entire court order. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Morris has a question.
I don't have a question. I want to cover some things that we have in the property confined business. Surely, Ms. Augustine would understand that. We didn't have 18 wheelers and truck roads in our neighborhood before you started running back. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, they are not allowed in there. 18 wheelers and whoever owns these units that lease or rent or sold to these people, they are not getting the critique properly. No 18 wheelers. We look for you all to do something about these kind of things. Ain't no sign on the gate no more. And a sign up there telling them 18 wheelers that they're not allowed in there. All that's gone. We got no signs there, nothing. We got a trash problem. There's no reason for trash to sit on the side of our street no 5 days. There's no reason for that. But we still got it sitting there over 5 days in our neighborhood. That's what we got. And there is the sign, like I said, that you all need to update those signs on that gate as with the truckers and whatnot. That will help the situation like it was before. Okay.
But the no parking sign is still on there. There's norms and rules, no parking.
Huh?
Norms and rules, no parking, so the, no parking sign on the gate, it's still there.
Not for the truckers. Not for the truckers. No, they're not there, they're gone.
I think what Mr. Morris is saying, no commercial buildings.
That's exactly
That's what
right.
you're saying, no
It
commercial
is. And the mayor, our mailbox is leaking.
What?
Our mailbox, where we go pick up our mail, it's leaking. Yes, sir.
You're not here.
You don't live here, that's what I be telling you. I'm letting you know what's going on. And the roof right at the center of the floor, just above the group of boxes that is set in the back side, just above it, there's a leak right in the center of the roof. Then you need to go up there and check it and get it repaired. Okay? And I got a lot of other things to discuss, but I'll leave it at that. Other than we walking in the mud to get our mail out of the box.
Yeah, we go on.
One quick question. Are we having an annual meeting next month? Are we having an annual meeting next month? You as the vice president, you can ask the question. We're having an annual meeting. It's on the agenda. It's on the agenda.
Yeah, we're gonna go on with our crime statistics in our neighborhood. Crime in Pine Village, it isn't that bad as some people think it is. We kind of mature. We have a few arrests on the drug activity. Most of our activity now is lottery in common areas. And we need to address that area, you know. I've tried to get with the guys in West Village, tell them they're not gonna be able to hang out there no more and drink in public. And we've had a few block parties that were after hours that we're going to address some way that if you're going to have a large gathering at your residence, it's going to either have to go through the HOA or something. You know, we got a lot of noise disturbances at night. We're going to have to find some way to address somebody, you know. And if y'all have a neighbor that's playing his music too loud, call me or call into the sheriff's office and I'll go by there and talk to them. But we're going to have to figure out something about the lottery and the law of noise. The big parties, that's the issue. We've had the same residents that had two parties, very large parties. And I don't know if it's an issue where they need to be moved to the clubhouse or how we can address it. We'll figure it out later. But as far as crime statistics, if anybody wants to take a look at the crime that's in the area, I'll pass that around. But overall, the last month of August, we had murders, we had one, which this month we've had a couple more. We got a suspect that's supposedly riding around the bicycle with a backpack. Anybody see him, you call me, he said anonymous, but he has broken into several vehicles. So if y'all see him, y'all know me, I have y'all got my cell phone number, just call me. And I can just come out and question who he is, try to identify who he is. If he don't live here, this private property, you be trespassed. So we do have somebody breaking into the vehicle. As far as a missing person, we had one missing person. We had a DOA, a death here. We had a couple of suspicious vehicles. We had 3 stolen vehicles, a couple of alarm calls, 4 family disturbance, family prevents, which is the same thing as family disturbance laws. Telephone harassment. We have a few warrant services, people went to jail over here. And we have 2 burglaries. So if y'all see anything, y'all welcome to call me. You know, my hours are down, no problem, y'all calling me. Y'all call 911. What happens is when you dial a non-emergency number, 911, there's a record of it. It goes into our crime statistics. So that way there's a record, there's a public record of what went on. If we don't, document it, there's no record of it. You're free to call me, but also call the non-emergency number, that way it's documented. And we know the statistics of what's going on. Like I had somebody tell me, hey, my car was burglarized, but I didn't call the police because I know what nothing's going to be going on. But then found out we got somebody breaking in the car. So it's always important. It don't take me but a few minutes to cut a report. The report's done, it's documented that there's somebody that's breaking into people's vehicles. And that way the whole community knows what's going on. If you got a neighbor that continues to play loud music, I go by and talk to them. If it don't work, I generate a report and go on from there. A lot of times by talking to them, making them aware of the problem, it kind of gets them anybody want to look at the crime statistics, I have mine here. If you have any questions?
I'd like to say something on that. You set up a block captain system for Pine Village North. Any volunteers that want to volunteer to be a block captain?
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Squatters.
Squatters.
Yeah, I do have a couple of areas where I stay. I know that we do have squatters.
Define, are they staying in the residence or just hanging out?
Yes,
Define
staying in residence.
Well, you know, that's something that's going to be a legal issue. That's going to be landlord-tenant, unless it's a property that's the property.
I don't know.
Because I can't prove who stays in the property, because we have a lot of renters, so I can't really say who stays in that property. If the property owner comes to me and say, hey, I have somebody that's trespassing, that's a different issue. But as far as just saying squat and you going into the question, because a lot of times I go to an address, it might be a renter, and I have no way, you know, unless I look on HCAT to find if they rent the property, what's going on.
But if the utilities are off, no water, no electricity, and you still the person.
Well, I know a homeowner like that here who has no utilities in his residence. He owns it outright. So it's going to have to be something in writing, or the property owner's going to have to say something about that. Did y'all hear what Augustine was saying about the block captains? Anybody wants to?
Anybody interested in being a block captain for Pine Village North?
Yes, ma'am. That could be our suspect in the murder, you know. If you see something that's pretty dark, just call 911 or call or tell police legal contact. But somebody has to say something. We can't, you know, y'all see me and say, hey, Mr. Scott, I seen this murder. You got to be able to document, you know. If you don't live here, this is private property. I could ask you to leave, that's something you don't need to go to jail. So if anybody on the property that don't live here, say something to somebody, you know. As far as just picking up the phone and just being anonymous and say, hey, there's a guy walking around with a backpack, he fits the description of somebody breaking the truck too. Anybody interested in being a block captain?
I got a question.
Sure.
What can you do if you have underage kids, they're just 6 years old, they have been going around, they have been seen, the parents have evidently taken responsibility, they spray paint on garage doors, on trees, and the parents supposedly were going to take care of that, they haven't done anything.
Well, what we can do, me and you talking about this, I gave her the opportunity. She stepped forward, she said she was going to take care of it, right?
Yes, right. She hasn't done anything.
She said she was going to take care of it. What I could do, I could, you know, I would charge a child 6 years old. You know, that's going to be done to the child. I can get with the HOA, they can find her. Because I talked to her, she said she's buying her property. See, that's what we need to have some way to make the people accountable in the community for what they're doing. You know, like in your instance, even though we got that off your vehicle, there's still that garage with that spray paint on it.
Right.
And she said she was going to take care of it. She has it. There's got to be some kind of procedure we can make people over here accountable for what they do. There's got to be accountable for what they do. Is it trespassing or is it for damaging the property? It's got to be something, you know, if you continue to have parties or having a large gathering in the community area, we got to be making you accountable. If you damage property, we should be able to have some kind of setup that will, hey, you violate this rule, you're going to be held accountable. And I'll go by that speaker. And I told her, like I said, your child, the juvenile system, not going to do nothing for a 6-year-old. And somebody needs to be held accountable for our spray paint on the garage.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you checking on cars that are sitting and that are covered, it's been sitting there for over a week?
Now,
5743.
We talk about the parking issue. As long as the stickers are current and the car's not disabled, this is I can't do a lot about the cars.
I don't know.
Parking issue.
I don't know if the stickers are there or not. I'm not going to go out there and lift that car to see. No way.
5743.
Right at the end. 5743 East Hampton. The other thing I want to know is who owns the sewer line underneath the townhouse?
The owners.
Pardon?
The owners do.
The owners do.
Yeah. So what happens is you've got the laterals that come out and go out into the street.
How far do they go?
Right up to the way they describe it to us.
Well, actually,
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Public utility district, Pine Village Public Utility, which your board members have the authority to repair those sewer lines, inshore in Pine Village, underneath the water. Correct. As long as the Pine Village Board of Directors and the municipal operation operator have the permission from the property to come off of the property and make it. It's in the Texas Water Code. In fact, I'm going to be sitting at the meeting tomorrow, and I'm going to present that to your board members. And another thing, see, the Pine Village Public Utility District also has the ability to hire additional police officers. And we would like for the Public Utility District, under the Texas Water Code, to hire 2 additional deputy sheriffs of Pine Village North.
Like I said, I'll be glad to hear from you tomorrow.
That way we have a day shift, deputy, and a night shift.
I'll be glad to hear from you tomorrow.
I've already sent that to Mr. Barnett. If you guys can't intervene because of Mr. Barnett, I've already sent the email to Mr. Barnett, the attorney. So he has it. I hope you guys will copy it.
If it's on the agenda, we'll discuss it.
But I'm hoping that we can count on your support and Mr. Suggs' support to get those police officers, because this community needs additional security. You guys have the money and you have the authority to hire them, okay? So we're hoping that you will push that agenda to get these people some extra security done.
I would sincerely hope that everyone in this meeting comes to the water board meeting tomorrow night so that they can hear how this is addressed.
Where's the water board?
Water board supplies your water.
Don't know where it is.
It'll be right here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
You might want to say that again so everybody.
It will be right here, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
If you want extra peace officers in Pine Village North, if you want your sewer lines repaired in Pine Village North, if you want a park and a swimming pool in Pine Village North, I recommend you be here tomorrow if that meeting is being held. I'm not sure if it's being held or if it's being ceased. But tomorrow is a meeting at 4 p.m. All right?
Go ahead.
I need to ask a question. Chief Craig, okay, let me ask you this.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna do that. Let me ask you this. Is it in the bylaw where, where a person, if you set up a board and you have our association with another person who is not them directly, if we're going
By association, to be verified.
yeah, say you.
You're speaking of myself?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you represent this board if you already have an association with someone on this board?
Would I? No. That would be a conflict of interest. We have a conflict of interest policy that I wrote, and basically that is prohibited.
Yes, sir. That's
If that answers your question.
yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got that.
I brought up the drain in our house.
Yeah, somebody said that.
There's a water leak. I've seen it for at least a week and a half. There's water in the street.
You talking on Westwood?
On Westwood. Every day.
Board members for the public utility district and that is line sure, Mr. Stubbs.
Yeah.
I'm going to address it again. They're responsible for the water meters in Pine Village North.
Yeah, it's leaking the whole
Yeah,
time.
well, contacting Mr. Suggs is on the board of directors of the Pine Village North. And I think we need to start reflecting some of the problems of Pine Village North to the proper authority, okay?
All right, understood.
The sewer lines, the main sewer lines, and also the other lines.
Tell them who owns the common sewer lines. Tell them who owns the common sewer lines.
The public utility district has the authority. I'm not saying that they have the authority to fix it, drainage lines, they have the authority and the powers and the duty to work on drainage lines, okay? Leaky faucets, leaky meters, that's their baby. Mr. Suggs owns those meters, he pays for them, and he orders the people to work on them, so especially for Mr. Suggs. Mr. Suggs.
Thank you. What about the roofs? When are we gonna start fixing them?
Have been fixed.
Well, we have 15 leaks in one of our units. We've been requesting for since December, and nobody has even contacted us. December of 2014? 2013? 2013.
Why don't you give me your information?
Be more than happy to give you the
Like me the card, because I don't know who you are.
Well, we have 4 units.
We have what?
We have 4 units.
Yeah, just let me know.
You still got the unit over there by the basketball court?
Yeah.
That one that wants to play?
Yes, the basketball.
That was vacant. You still got something about it?
Vacant.
I was spoke about the drainage in the alleyway. Talking to Mr. Stubbs. He is saying,
Mr. Suggs.
yes,
Mr.
Mr. Stubbs. He claims that the association is responsible for that. Now, he's in here right now.
I know he's right there, I know, but see, what I just told you is that the public utility, the time that it's doing, public utility has the authority and duty to perform work on your drainage line.
He's telling me different.
That man over there, they're gonna do nothing for you unless this whole group gets together and marches in their meeting and tells them that they need to fix those drainage lines. That's why we need you at the meeting. The public, you to tell them guys what they wanna have done. They can fix
Mr. Oxman, use my name again.
Yeah.
I will see personally that you get sued. Mr. Moxley, that is water board business, handle that water board. If you use my personal name again, you use my personal name again in this meeting without my permission, you're going to get sued, Mr. Oxley. You will get sued, Mr. Oxley. You do not utilize something. You say BUD, you say that, but you say my name again, it's going to be trouble.
I can discuss water board business, okay? Anytime I want. I'm not on the board, I'm not under the disclosure law. Don't tell me what I can and cannot discuss. But anyway.
Any more questions?
Shut
Yeah, it's about 7 minutes left.
Shut it down. He went overboard. He went and made it personal.
People, what we need to do is stop paying, and they will have any funds, and they will run away from the community. That's what we need to do, all of us, is stop paying, because they've been stealing our money.
Can I have y'all's attention, please? My name is Carlos Rodriguez. I live in Vine Village. I've lived there for several years. I've been on the board before. I can feel your frustration. I can hear it. I know how it feels. I'm from both sides, okay? I think that as a person that lives in your community, I am also feel very sure that things take time to progress, and it has been a long time. And my job here that I'm going to be presenting to you today is as a real estate broker. I am a real estate broker. I've been a real estate broker for about 40 years now, going close to 40 years. So I can tell you that the properties that have a slab, which is right on East Hampton and Wild Pine, we are trying to get new construction. And the only way that is possible is through your support and your help. We can only do so much. I've received 70, Mr. Phil Manchester. Mr. Phil Manchester is the developer of these units. And I am the real estate broker that's handling these homes. So if you know of anyone that wants to purchase a new home in there, we just need 10 contracts to get started. It will be brand new. Not only will it help, and this is what I say, it's got to work together, because you'll have new homes, you'll have more taxes, you'll have the HOA fees contributing these residents, And it helps everyone overall. It raises the value of your property. Yes, sir.
How much money the property is going to sell? And are you looking to get bonds to do tap into the sewer line?
No, we're not.
How's it going to affect us?
No, well, the effect that you'll feel is your property values will go higher. Okay? And I don't know if any of y'all want that to happen or not, but in my opinion, I live there. Yeah, I want my property values to go higher. Why? Because
no bonds, right?
No bonds. No bonds. No bonds.
No, what money they gonna use?
Right. It has to be through the bank. We have to get. Let me explain. We have to get 10 contracts in order to get started.
Did you put this to a vote in front of the members? Who's borrowing money?
Let me say this. I am a real estate broker. I am not. I used to be on the HOA board. I'm no longer there. So that is not my. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that to the HOA board.
You want to borrow money? You got to put it to the vote.
I'm just saying. I'm just presenting to you the idea that having new construction on there will make it better. Yeah.
Let's not get confused here. The HOA is not building no new homes.
Right.
It's an investor that's buying the slab and going to build new homes. Okay?
Who gave anybody permission to sell HOA properties to who?
The board of directors.
You did what? The board of directors gave permission to sell property?
That's correct.
Property that the HOA owns. I'm correct on that, right? Will you please read your declaration and say what it says, that all property owned by the LSA must have due before you can sell it?
5763.
What does it say? What does our declaration say about that? What did they say? They said that anything that's owned by the HOA is owned by the members. You have to get our permission to sell it.
Mr. Sugg.
You got a question?
I don't understand why you wouldn't want something built on.
I don't want to be cheated.
How can you be cheated?
I already got cheated out of my own money.
How can you be cheated if it's privately constructed? There's not going to be any money from the members that live there, which is myself included. It's going to be individual investor coming in and making the property more for everybody. You know, more taxes coming in, more HOA fees coming in. It's not a negative; it's a positive. When you look at it, you're getting properties that are deteriorated, that have to be torn down, and you have to build again. So
that's what it is. It's properties that are torn down. You're not getting construction on any additional land.
If there's a slab on there, that's what we're doing. We're building on slab that was previous town owners.
Here's my question then. How is the HOA proceeding to sell these? There's a listing? Are they making the members know? I mean, are they notifying?
It was on the MLS. It's been on the MLS for what, over 2 years? A year? Over a year. It's been over a year.
I just want clarification.
Yeah. It's been on the MLS. Anybody in here that has the money, they can buy those slabs. They can go ahead and build on them. That's it. So it's not money that's coming from the HOA. It's yes.
Don't those slabs have to be approved by the county to
Yes,
be
they do.
built on?
Yes, they do.
Do you have that permission already?
That's the architect has already handled all that. These are the properties that they have presented, and these are the ones that they are planning on building there.
Who is the architect?
Mr. Phil, well, I'm not exactly know. Mr. Phil Manchester is the developer, and he hires all his contractors. Phil Manchester. Yes, ma'am. Phil Manchester. So it's a positive for everyone.
You got time for one more question.
My biggest concern has always been here, the grass. It's horrible. It's huge. There is no grass, and whoever cuts it does a horrible job. It's not clean at all. I mean, what are we doing about that?
We're looking for other,
landscaping is hideous.
I had a conversation about a month ago.
Hi, my name is Tony Hughes, and I just came out of an HOA meeting here at the East Aldine District. I got asked to leave because I was asking too many embarrassing questions and they were not giving us the right answers. They've been doing this, all of those board members are bogus. They didn't have any meetings for 3 months in a row, and our bylaws clearly state that if you miss 3 HOA meetings, you're off the board automatically. We need to get this unit or this board investigated, and we need to get our meetings away from here back to our clubhouse in Pine Village North.
We're again here attending another illegal function at the HOA for Pine Village North Association. They do not have 7 board members to vote on expedited foreclosures. They haven't had them since the special meeting they called. They were supposed to elect 3 people and they never failed to do it. They keep calling elections without proper notice to all the members. They keep having meetings without agenda posted. And the houses are unfit to inhabit in Pine Village. If you don't believe me, I'll take you around the neighborhood and show you where there's no wall, where the exterior sheetrock is the actual exterior of the house. Studs are not even there to hold up the wall. The base plate's gone, everything's gone. And they say they maintain the exterior of the houses. Go, I invite you to go with me one day. Come take a tour. I'll show you the real deal. Bye.
People that live on here should be on the board. People that don't live here, they don't know what's going on here, and they don't really care. They just drawing money from the board and all the members out here, and they going home.
And they don't have enough residents that reside on the board.
Really don't make any difference whether they're residents, as long as they live here and they're keeping a home here, whether they're renting, they're paying their dues. So they should be able to vote whatever comes up.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Okay, I tell you what, we are community leaders. We are really upset about what's going on here in Pine Village North. We're community leaders. We really is upset about what's going on here in Pine Village North. I live there. I've been living there a little better than 16 years. I'm a homeowner, and I sat on the board for almost 2 years. And when I got to start asking the people questions about what was going on the board and asking them about the money, and they knew all the time that I was an ex-offender, it wasn't no problem then as long as they was getting my vote. When I decided that what you're doing is not right and started questioning them about the things that they was doing, they decided that they need to bring my past up to me and just kick me off the board. I walked in, didn't give me no notice. I walked in and they said, listen, do not take your seat. You are dismissed from this board. You are an ex-offender in front of the whole community, which was okay with me because I had a book I called Second Chance that people knew about. I wasn't trying to hide my past. They knew it and they accepted it then, but when you go to getting on them about doing the right thing by the people in our community, they have a problem with it. They fix their stuff. They do not fix the people's stuff. These people been there for 15, 20, 30 years and still got a leaking roof, still got things that they have not fixed on their house to this day. I asked them, how do y'all go about fixing your house? How do you set it up? Do you have a roster that one next? How y'all do it? And they couldn't give me that. But we saw that a lot of people's houses was getting fixed, but it wasn't the people in the community that was complaining about it. So they decided that this board wasn't for me, and it was fine with me. But as a homeowner, I'm here to represent my people and make sure that they do what they need to do with our Pine Village money. These are the elite ladies of expression. This is my team. This is my director, my board members, and they get behind me 100%. When they looked at what was going on out here, they stepped forward, and I'm glad to have them here tonight because enough is enough, and they need to be looked at for what they do. Because everything to me that they have done thus far has been questionable. Thank you. Y'all have a nice night. Okay.
I feel as though the person that's acting, and I want to say it plainly, that's acting as their attorney, we're going to file a motion for them to explain to us or to show his authority. We want to know how Mr. Raymond Prince got in his position by filing a motion of authority, because I have been to every meeting and I have not seen where the community was told or given notice that he had became the attorney of record for Pine Village North. And yes, that we were all in court. And when we was in court, Judge Schaefer gave an order through the transcript, but they have not bought the transcript. So of course he does not know what Judge Schaefer said. We don't have to read it to him. He's supposed to buy the transcript if there has been put a notice on him that something was said by Judge Schaefer. Judge Schaefer it had to be transferred back to Judge Miller, because there was a case filed in Judge Miller's court in 2012, and they asked him to non-sue Pine Village North, which was the people of Pine Village. They didn't ask him to non-sue the board members by name, but he did. So that's the reason Judge Schaefer felt like it needed to go back to his court and Court 11, and that's why we're in there.
Hi, my name is Victor Hernandez, and I'm very concerned about the state of the garbage. There's always seems to be a lot of trash around, and no one seems to give a straight answer how to pick it up or anything. One of the strange things that I see every time I come to these board meetings is that new people coming in and out, no one gets notified of how these people get elected. And to make matters even worse, the state of the lawn is horrible. The landscaping is hideous. Someone claimed to say that they were paying $7,000. There's no grass, there's no trees, there's no flowers, and there's trash everywhere. I'm just very concerned that I don't think my money is being spent right.
And how many units do you own?
Currently I have 2. My father-in-law has 1. My sister-in-law has 1. So it's 4 in total.
All right, thank you.